All right, bet.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Creative Media. I'm your host, Jonathan Milton, and this is the show where we sit down and entrepreneurs, creators, filmmakers, and business leaders to have real conversation about business, creating opportunities, and turning ideas into income. Creative Media, our show. Today's guest is an entrepreneur who's built his career through sales while also making his mark on filmmaking and doing websites on the side. He's someone who understands both the creative side of business and the business of creativity. Please welcome Rex West. Rex,
Yeah, thank you for the introduction too, man.
no problem.
For real, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on Creative Revenue today. I definitely appreciate that, man. I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
Giving creatives a chance to talk about the business side of creativity and the creativity side of business for sure. I
Yes,
like that.
exactly. So, Rex, what started you off in business?
What started me off in business? Probably, obviously, just as a kid, I saw my parents like they worked or whatever, but they always had like businesses on the side. So that's probably where I first, got an eye for business. And then once I started, getting into the workforce, I actually started working for a business where I was able to basically almost like take a franchise or take like a section of the business and kind of have to like run that sector of it myself.
Mhm.
So that was at a young age, and that gave me a lot of experience.
So you always, so you always been business minded since you were a little kid.
Yeah, yeah, I was the kid that was like selling candy in school, like cutting grass and stuff like that. Yeah, I always had like my first job was like Six Flags, and I was like 15. My first official job, I was even working before that, so I was always hustling, trying to make things happen. But with that being said, I always was very creative and had like a creative, kind of mindset. Even in school, I was studying for um, like film and recording. I was one of those kids in school that would come up to you with a microphone and a camera, like interview you and stuff for like our little TV news station and things like that.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah.
So who was the first person who inspired you to do all this?
Who was the first person who inspired me to do all of this? That is a tough question. Probably growing up watching TV so much.
Mhm.
I grew up watching TV, and I always say now that I'm older, I always look back on the types of shows I used to watch, like Martin and Jamie Foxx show, and just even movies, like Boomerang and
Right.
The Best Man and
I love
stuff like
Boomerang.
that.
I love Boomerang. I love the best man.
You feel me?
Favorites.
So
Favorites.
when I look back on those movies, something is in common, right? A
Right.
lot of those people living single, like a lot of those people were working in media,
Yes.
so
Mhm.
like it was almost like an example of like young cool black people, what I'm saying, they were like living kind of independently and free. And I guess I don't know if that was like entrenched in us a little bit or but I don't know, I think that's my first examples that I kind of saw, honestly, but it was like, yeah.
Okay, so when you saw those shows, you were like, I can make those shows, or I can be on that show.
And almost like I can be the people in those shows.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
so
can be Martin who got a radio show.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
can be Marcus who runs an advertising um, agency.
yes. Okay, okay. And it's positive black people on TV, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's very inspiring too.
Yeah, for sure. So for sure, and then just you know, being creative kid, just always talking scenarios out. This would be funny if this happened, and then what if this happened, and then if this happened, if this happened, and this happened, and just always just thinking about scenarios. So yeah, so I just never stopped doing that.
So with scenarios in business, what are some of the struggles that people have when they first start off in business?
I think some of the struggles that people have when they first start off in business is I would probably say there are probably a few things. One of them is gonna be, not probably set, not probably not think doing things, not starting. I'm gonna be honest.
Not starting. So you
I'm
have
gonna
to
be
start.
honest. You have to start. A lot of people I've noticed I come across, they want to start, they don't want to do it because it's not pretty, or it's not the way they would want their vision to end up.
Mhm.
Instead of starting and then building their way up to that. So that's probably the main thing I would say, is not starting. And other than that, is not learning.
Not learning. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So you got to
not
do some
learning.
research.
You got to do your research. You want to research, your clientele. You want to research, kind of the market that you're in. You want to research if you want to be like a like have like a niche, or like do like broad business. So you
Mhm.
just got to research what's gonna work for you.
And so when it comes to making money to sales, what are some things that people need to do to make sales, or why do they struggle in sales in business?
For me, I think the way people would succeed in business sales and not struggle, like for me, honestly, is kind of just being really intuitive, and actually like that background of having like journalism, like I really kind of like curious for real. So it's
Mhm.
like, you really talk to people, get to know them, and get to know what they need. And if you're selling something that they could use, you just identify that. And if honestly, I just feel like I can help people. So I feel like helping people and talking to people and treating people like real people is probably gonna be the number one key. Other than that, talk to people, like same thing. I'll go and talk to anybody. I'll go do cold sales, cold calls. Get my card out. Yeah, you never know. You just got to make relationships, I think.
Okay, so how do you build trust with the people you meet?
That's a good question. You pretty much just have to try to deliver on what you say you're gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's it. Some of that is also built on, what you have already done for other people. And, if they can see that, sometimes they'll develop a trust for that. But ultimately, their trust in you is going to come from, you doing what you said you were going to do.
Okay. Okay. So as a business person you are, how many income streams do you have in business for like what you do?
Um, I do a lot. Like, I do a lot of things. Like, just
Mhm.
because I'm curious and I've, like to learn. So I never even thought of it like income streams. That's the funny thing about it.
Mhm.
I just thought of it like different things I like to do. Like, okay, I like to take pictures. I like to do videos. I like to write. I like to, do all these things. Even like do content now.
Okay.
Um,
Wow. Talk
hmm
on that.
Yeah. Even doing like content, like skits and
Mhm.
food reviews. Um, just kind of using social media, to an advantage at the same time, and then having fun with it, at the
Okay.
same time.
So in all those streams of income that you have, which one makes the most of those incomes?
Um, Honestly, I'll probably say it depends. Is the real question. I can pretty much go hard on anything, but for the most part, it's pretty much kind of a spread out. There have been seasons where I was done a lot of movies.
Mhm.
There's been seasons where you're doing a lot of weddings.
Mhm.
There's been seasons where you're doing a lot of like business stuff. I do like business content. So there are different types of things. Like movies are kind of like a one-off thing. Then you have like the business like content or content you do for clients. Sometimes it's like more sustainable.
Yeah.
And then you have the other things coming in too, like that you're still building at the same time. So it all fluctuates, but if you're consistent, I think film probably be the number one answer. I would think.
Okay. So is film also your favorite as far as your most fun, or is there other streams that's more fun?
Film is probably the most like gratifying. I don't know if it's the most fun, but it's because it's like a lot of work, you know.
Hmm.
Probably doing content and like it's probably the most fun because it's like it's still work, you know,
Hmm.
but it's not so stretched out as far as the time, you know. It's like a skit might be a minute at the most, you know.
So Rex, I see some films behind you. What are you in those films behind you?
Okay, cool. So these are some films. Okay. So what we got right here, we got The Good Sister. This is actually the first film that I directed. Um
Really? Hmm.
the first film that I ever directed, The Good Sister, with Amber and Chanel and Steven. Really cool. And then I got what's this, Her Other Man.
Her Other
And that's
Man.
Her
Okay.
Other Man. That's a film that I actually shot and edited. Um, and also acted in. You know, so I had a leading role. I don't know if it was a starring role, but it was a leading role for sure. So
Seriously.
just yeah. And then we got Price of Fame. So this is actually representing the first movie that I produced. I wrote it, I directed it, I produced it, I shot it, I edited it, and I had a big role in this one too, acting. So yeah, so
So in the Price of Fame, you're like the Robert Rodriguez of the Price of Fame as far as you shooting it, and editing it, and like starring in the whole movie yourself. The Price of Fame. So how was it making that movie? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Like how were you making the Price of Fame?
I quickly learned that DPing or even directing um, is not the same as producing.
Hmm.
So that was kind of the first thing I realized just when it came down to casting and locations and budgeting. Um, even just just creating morale and everything.
Right.
So that was the first thing. But once I got into it, I was excited. I think I was really motivated more than anything.
Hmm.
I did come up with some challenges, but I was really motivated to get a movie done. You
Okay.
know, really to move on to more movies. Honestly, to learn the process.
Hmm.
Even though I had went through the process and shot a lot of movies before, but so it was fun, to take my idea and actually be able to direct it and direct the actors and kind of see my vision come to life. So it was a good experience. It was a lot of work, obviously, doing all those
Yeah,
roles.
it sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's like a lot of work. Like honestly, it is. I don't know how many people like to do that, but I like to. I like to put in work like that. So
Okay.
and I like to learn a lot. So it was cool. It was cool for sure.
Okay. So where can we see these films at?
Okay, cool. So I know all of these films are definitely on Tubi for sure. You guys can see The Good Sister. I think that might be on Amazon or Peacock as well. Um,
And
so yeah, you guys just check them
and
out.
the middle one is Her Other Man. Where's that
Yeah,
at?
Her Other Man.
Yeah, Her Other Man. That's
Yeah, I
also
know.
on Tubi also?
Yeah, you can also catch that on Tubi too. So you can catch that in on Tubi. I guess you can even type my name in Rex West, right? And I
Rachel
should.
West.
And all
So,
this.
so Rex,
Hmm.
if you lost it all tomorrow,
Hmm.
how do you make your first $10,000 again?
Um, look, creatively,
Creative, right?
creatively. Honestly, yeah. So what I would do is the same thing I would do. I would probably reach out to a network of clients that I have worked with before.
Hmm.
Reintroduce myself and reestablish what I could provide for them as far as marketing services, videography services, photography services. Even now coming into the content social media services, but actually kind of mixing in the content and the skits or whatever into business, which a lot of people are doing now. On top of filmmaking, I would start writing probably.
Writing your own movies, right?
I would start writing. Yeah. Apart from that, I would start writing. I would take time, write that script. I would write that script for the resources that I have around me,
Right, right, right.
for the budget that I know I can afford. Um, and I would, yeah, find some actors that I trust.
Hmm.
Um, and I would plan that shoot, and I'll probably do everything by myself again.
by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Depend on me. I depend on me. Okay. Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
So Rex, what was the one mistake in business that cost you money?
Um, Not moving fast enough.
Okay.
Yeah, sitting on your talent, on my talents, probably not being confident or knowledgeable enough,
Mhm.
So, yeah, like, I think once I started gaining that confidence and kind of moving with a little more motion, even walking into places, just kind of knowing what I can offer. Um, it seems like, people can feel your energy,
Right. Right.
especially like as a producer. That's what I'm learning, or even doing sales. So you have to really be confident in yourself, So you gotta know what you offer. So that comes from, being prepared and actually having knowledge and having something to bring to the table for people.
Okay. Okay. How important is branding in today's economy?
I feel like it's
Branding
everything.
industry.
Like if you, if you don't look, if you go to, like, I can ask you right now, right? I
Okay.
can ask you what's the number one at McDonald's. You gonna know what it is, right?
Exactly.
Right.
The Big Mac.
So yeah, right. and
The
you
Big Mac.
you might not even, and you
Yeah.
might never eat McDonald's, but you probably know that, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I think that, yes, it's just that important. I think a lot of people miss the opportunities of branding. Um, and like on a local level, like I work with like local businesses,
Mhm.
restaurants, and all types of businesses and things like that, just to try to get them more clients and revenue in. And when you're doing so much, especially as a small business owner, it's hard to think about branding.
Right.
It really is. It's hard to
Mhm.
think about spending money on something that's almost like feels imaginary at the time. So I think a lot of people just don't invest into that, and it's very important, to remain visible, especially in social media, in today's climate, because a lot of people just are, find people from social media, or find reviews from social media, and
Mhm.
that's why they watch something or try something or go to a restaurant or anything.
Right. So, how long have you been a full time entrepreneur?
Um, Full time entrepreneur, man, probably off and on still. If
Yeah,
I'm being
okay.
honest, um, I always try to
Years.
have, yeah, I always try to have resources, where I can go and kind of try to make some type of stable income at the same time. Um, and then I also have the entrepreneurial stuff going on, along that.
Got you. Okay. So like personally, what's your daily routine in life? Like as far as
Um,
waking up early or like getting your day started, going to the gym. Like, what are your personal routines?
overall, I give you overall, because every day kind of varies, But overall, I like to wake up early. I never like hardly ever honestly sleep late, Um, so I like to wake up early, generally just to get the day started.
Mhm.
Ideally, I am going to the gym, which I do go to the gym, or I work out at least, So ideally, I'll do that, and then I'll start working, get right
Mhm.
into it, get into some emails or some editing. I always have editing to do, make some calls, set up some meetings, reach out to some clients. I'll do that for a while. Um, if I have actual shoots, then I'll schedule those shoots. Um, yeah, so it's always something. It's either shooting or writing or editing or going out to businesses or reaching out to businesses or it's just always something. Thinking about concepts. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so do you already have your day planned the day before, or you wake up and you just kind of wing it?
No, I definitely have my day planned for the most part before. And if
Okay.
it's not planned, it's kind of like structural, for the most part.
Mhm.
So I kind of already know what I'm gonna be getting into.
That's smart because I feel like if you have things written down and planned, you will get your day started and ended with everything done or mostly done for their day.
And even better, like you get things out of your head,
Hmm.
and actually like either on the paper. I think paper is better, but just out of your head and like to where you can actually see it. It kind of frees that space up too.
Okay. So do you read books? And if you do read books, what are some of the books that's your favorite?
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I do read books. Let's see what I got. One book I like to read is The Way of the Superior Man.
Oh, okay.
Um,
What's that?
it's a book. It's by, I believe it's David Dieta. I don't want to say his name wrong, but it's basically just pretty much kind of a self help book. Giving you advice as far as you know ways to kind of be.
Okay, so self help book.
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. So in life and in business, what are one or two good habits that made you the most money?
I would say being kind of fearless,
Hmm.
being I think open, um, like being fearless, like trying things, like hey, do you want to try? Like I took a job traveling when I was young. I kind of started making movies, like um, being prepared for it, but kind of jumping out there. So like I think taking a jump it would be the same. Like you got to be like take a jump. Like you have to sometimes take kind of a leap of faith. Some people call it. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm not afraid to do that, and I feel confident in it. And yes, I think you have to just step outside your comfort zone.
So were you ever afraid to like jump out there?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Just not feeling confident or being comfortable or focusing on other things. So for sure.
Okay. So your 20 or 25-year-old self, like thinking back,
Hmm.
what was a mistake that you would give like so what would you give as far as advice to your 25-year-old self now?
Man, same thing. Like start sooner.
Start
And
soon.
start sooner. Like if you have ideas and be fearless, the same thing. Um, and follow through. Stay focused. I would tell her, look, I have a lot to say.
Okay. So now we're coming to the end of the show. So I'm gonna give you a rapid fire questions, and you just answer it off the top of your head. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So tea or coffee?
Coffee, really?
Coffee.
Yeah, I'm thinking in the mornings. Yeah, I used to be a server, like a waiter,
Okay.
and we used to have to make sweet tea in the mornings. And sometimes I would like drink the tea and don't drink sweet tea in the morning time. It just had your stomach going crazy.
You're going crazy, right? You don't want that. So are you like a Starbucks guy, or you are like what do you are?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't no big coffee guy, but I'm not a Starbucks guy. I'll make some coffee at the crib. You know what I'm saying? If I go
Mhm.
to a diner or something, I might get some coffee.
Okay, bad. Who's your biggest business mentor?
My biggest business mentor. Um, I would say it would probably have to be like for film. Honestly, it would have to be you.
Thank you.
Yeah, now for filmmaking, I don't know if y'all know, but I shot a lot of films for as a DP and editor, and even director for Jonathan, um, and writer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So guys, I'm a filmmaker. I've been doing it for like 15 years. I write my scripts. Most write my scripts. Sometimes Rex will do it for me. So I'm a writer, director, a producer of my own films. Check them out on Tubi TV, Amazon Prime, or what else? Tubi, Amazon, Sling. Just go in and type in my name, and you will see films that I've made and that Rex have made also. So Rex, you you are a tech person, right?
Yeah.
So Rex, what are your favorite apps?
My favorite apps. Okay, if I'm with my phone, probably the top apps in my phone are gonna be settings. Nah. Probably, man. Like, I mean, TikTok, right?
TikTok, right?
Yeah, Instagram. I like
Everybody-
Facebook still.
yeah, it's very addicting.
Yeah, you know. But I'm always editing too, so I got like so many editing apps and storage apps. But I like Instagram still, like as far as reaching the community.
Hmm.
I think Facebook is really good for reaching like a local audience as well. Um, but yeah, I think TikTok is kind of probably the most popular app for sure.
Because I could be on TikTok all day, just looking at little short videos all day. It's very informative.
It's very and yeah, like it's everything. Like I
Mhm.
think people like are people not going to Google to search anymore? They're now going to TikTok to search stuff.
Sure, I am every time.
Yeah, like you like how to do this. You're going to TikTok.
TikTok, 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 TikTok. How to do something? TikTok.
Yeah,
Or now I might type in the ChatGPT.
there you
You
go.
know,
That too,
and
definitely.
so between TikTok and ChatGPT, like how to do this, how to do that, or YouTube.
Or YouTube for that matter. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
so Rex, in one word, what defines success?
Peace.
Peace? Yes, peace. Because I feel like if you are content with what you're doing, and you're happy with yourself, it's peace. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's peace. Sometimes people can work for people, but as an entrepreneur, you're always hustling for yourself and your family. And so, yes, I think peace is a good word.
yeah, I think so. I think so because yeah, you can't measure. You could be have the most successful so-called job and be miserable. You could be doing something way more modest or so and be very happy. So it's just perspective.
Okay, our last question.
Hey,
What one entrepreneur everyone should look up to and study? That one
uh,
person entrepreneur that everyone should look up to and study.
who's one entrepreneur everyone should look up to and study? Um, that's a good question.
Mhm.
Um, my answer would be a few people, but if I had to break it down to one person,
Mhm.
um, I guess in the film world, for
Okay,
me,
film.
um,
Okay,
in the film world or the tech world, I would say, let's see, let's see. I don't know. Like, do I go super successful? Like, yeah. Do I go successful? Do I
whatever you
go
want to
like?
do. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, yes, success. Yes.
Success based on success is like, do I choose the most successful? But honestly, who everybody should study, I would say, I would say, like when it comes to film, I ain't gonna lie, like Tyler Perry probably coming to my mind, just being like an
Tyler
independent
Perry.
filmmaker. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, and then other than that, look, we go end it like this.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, the GOAT.
You feel me?
The GOAT. Hard worker since he was a kid. His whole life hard worker. He can dance his butt off.
Got into the business side.
Business side also. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely, definitely. So Rex, where can people find you, and what are you doing next?
Okay, cool. So you guys can find me everywhere. Rex West, Rex West Media on Instagram and TikTok. Um, and what I got get going next, I got a few projects we got lined up. So I got my next project is like a Southern drama, almost like my other films, but it's a Southern drama. It's a coming of age story about a young woman and her journey. Um, as a young woman, in today's world, but
Okay.
he's got kind of like a throwback element from it too because um, you know, it's kind of like being developed from like like actually like so that's something we're doing new, like developing from people's like novels.
Mhm.
So actually like turning novels into books as well. So that's a new project we got. I got another kind of tech based project coming out, still a feature film.
Okay.
Um, so I got some stuff brewing. We got some stuff brewing, working for sure. And I
Busy
got some
man,
stuff,
busy
yeah,
man.
I got some stuff coming with Jonathan as well.
Hey, me. So, guys, thank you for our first show of Creative Revenue Show. So we'll do a show every week. So just stay tuned. Okay, guys. Peace.